Hey guys, it's Gwynaire here again from Defy Reality Entertainment, and obviously working on Neyyah as usual. Today I'm going to be showing you some more blocking phases for a new environment that I'm going to be starting today. Very excited to get going with this one. My previous devlog goes into another environment that I was doing last week. Turned out really nicely. I'm trying to kind of keep some of that locked away at the moment, so not sharing too much of it. See how I go with this one. This is a very particular environment and one that I've been dying to do for so long. It's been in the concept stages, it's been in my mind for a very long time, and I'm very excited to finally get into 3D modeling this scene out. So as you can see here, the scene I've got in front of me here is a test that I've just done using it's a different sky map, which is quite exciting too. So some of these scenes will be using different sky maps than what I've been using, and ran it through Photoshop and added some effects, and they're coming out quite nicely. There's some exposure and some other things that need to be altered. I'm also using a 2K res version of the sky map, and I've just purchased the higher res, so that's really cool too. Very exciting to start getting into this. I'm actually going by some sketches that I've got here in this awesome Neyyah sketch journal. Many different notes on various different things, puzzle elements, environment design, sometimes big environments, sometimes the smallest part of an environment. I'll sketch it out in these books. I think I've mentioned this before. This is the 6th book of many sketches that I've done for this game since 2018. So that's a lot of sketches and a lot of notes. And I've had to kind of plot out how this particular area is going to look. I've also had to refer to some old game design, gameplay documentation that I've got, just to kind of recap on what's going to be presented here. And it's quite exciting because I'll actually be bringing in some of this scene here, which I'm actually rendering out right now. I'm rendering out this scene in on the computer over here, ready to be put into the engine. So I just figured, actually looking at some of the artwork, there's certain references I can use for this particular scene. So what I might actually do, if it will let me straight away, seems to be doing that, which is quite nice. I'm going to bring in some of this. I'm not going to bring all of it in. I just want to bring some of it in, and even if I don't end up using what I'm going to bring in, it just gives me an element of kind of a scale of how big this scene will be, what will be in front of the camera. And our trusted little human 3D model, Neyyah, will also be showing up as well. He'll be making an appearance. Paste that in there. Okay, so one thing I want to do is bring that in front of the camera, because one thing I need to do is make sure that I've got the right lighting for this scene too. So this is actually going to be another backdrop for one of the characters in the game. See, what I'm doing at the moment for the next, well, till hopefully the end of June, I'm going to be creating the backdrops for these characters that appear in Neyyah, which is really exciting. And it's kind of a way of being able to, I'm not going to show too much of this scene, of just being able to foresee how everything's going to look when the actual actors are there, when the green screen is actually replaced. And although I don't have to finish these backdrops, because the actual backdrops are part of a bigger set, I can just work on what needs to be in front of the camera with careful consideration of what's going to be around the camera too, what's going to be behind, because that's where the lighting comes in. The importance with lighting is making sure that there is a good kind of lighting set for the actor, that they will appear quite nicely within the scene. So I'm just going to put a little figure here. Probably don't need to go into render preview right now. I just want to be able to sketch out the basic look of this scene. Might actually just close that one as well. Okay. So really starting from scratch with this one, guys. And it's always cool to see where things go, like as they progress, especially with like last week's devlog and where I was when I was starting that scene and what it is now. It's like, wow, so much changed. That's pretty cool. But I do need to look at a path. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to block out a couple of things. I'm just going to get a path going, because the player will be on a path at this point. Possibly a platform, but we'll just start with a path for now. And the cool thing is that the path I use for this particular scene might already have been created in another scene for Neyyah, so I can just eventually pull that through and manipulate where needed. I might actually rotate everything as well, but that depends on the lighting again, so it depends where we're at. Rotate around here. Okay, that's a bit better. Now our lighting. Just going to move this over here a bit more. It's coming down quite a bit. Okay. We need to do some matchup here. Now I'm actually going to just bring this. This is the sunlight basically. This is like the main global lamp, the sun lamp. Although I'm using an HDR sky map for the lighting, this sun just adds the extra lighting. The thing is, I'm curious to see where everything's at. So what I might do, I'll just save this, and I'm actually going to render preview this if it doesn't crash. Just see where the lighting is at the moment, because I need to match it up with the rest of the scene and consider where everything else is as well. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Coming in from that direction. Technically, I want it to be opposite. Actually, I need to look at. Yeah. Okay, we're going to do a rotation. I want the sun to be coming down on this side of the character. At the moment the sun's all the way over there. The actual lamp is fairly matched currently, but it needs to be completely different. It needs to be on the complete opposite. So I'm just going to mirror that actually. Might make it easier on me. It doesn't want to mirror. Oh, now it does. I think that's where. Okay, bring that down. Doesn't seem to work the same way as I need to be just on the character a bit more. Take that away. Yeah, because now the lighting's a bit off. That's why we need to now, so we've got two sources of light coming in different directions. We need to rotate the sky map. Again, this is a 2K sample of the sky map, and I've just purchased the full one, so I'll be applying that later. Go into here. Okay, that's good. That's cool. Don't need that. Don't need that. I'm gonna rotate it. I believe it's the Z axis. Okay, yeah, there you go. So now we're gonna rotate the sun. This is cool. So it's coming down on our character here. It's sort of about this direction. Cool. Cool. Very cool. Interestingly enough, we have some dark cloud cover as well coming down on that side. Don't want it to be completely, because I've got, again, considering where everything else is in the game, I don't want it to be completely on them like that, considering a few other aspects. Rotatum rotundus. Okay. This works. This works. This is cool. Alrighty. Now I've got that set up. I am going to look at blocking this area a bit more. I mean, we have a path, so that makes sense. I'm actually going to move this character just over there a bit more. It makes sense for, in context with the game, the rest of the environment. I'm being really careful not to share too much. This scene actually appears in a piece of a final art piece that I did for the 2020 Patreon anniversary that I did in 2020, and I've actually just posted that on Facebook and Twitter. So it's really cool just sharing that piece of that painting that I did. One of the patrons won that in a draw prize. So over on Patreon I do draw prizes when certain anniversaries happen or special offers happen. So that's another exciting thing about Patreon, is that I get to sort of share more exclusive behind the scenes content. So definitely check Patreon out. There'll be a link in this video here. So a great place to be able to support Neyyah as well, the full-time game development of the game, and some really awesome rewards there too, including audio, video calls with myself as well, so we can just chat about anything. And yeah, it's just more of like an intimate, richer experience, game dev experience. Okay, that's cool for now. I mean, again, the blocking phase, it's just literally putting down things like cubes and cylinders and stuff like that, and then it gets replaced. But I do try and keep things I try and keep things fairly to the point, like how they will look. Otherwise it's just it becomes a bit of a headache when you start to sort of take things away and then replace them. It's nice to, if you do have a blocked model, to kind of work with that a bit as well, maybe add on top of it or anything like that. So what I'm doing here and why I'm waiting is just I've increased my verts of this particular cylinder, so it's just loading it now. Because I've got a event preview, it's just taking a bit longer because it has to update all the textures and stuff. So that's all good. All good. I might actually sort of, even though I copied this from that other scene, I might just sort of move this away because it's not really doing what I really want it to do anyway. I think mainly it's kind of blocking at the moment, using the really primitive shapes. This is actually really cool. Wow, this is really cool. From just my own personal perspective, this is really exciting. This is yeah, this is really cool. It's finally seeing the scene come to life, and it's gone through different kind of stages as well. Originally, I had a very particular idea for it. Then that changed, and then you know, I came along this one, and you know, it's kind of like working out, you know, what's going to be the best way to do it. What's the best way to portray the story elements as well that are being shown here. And that was, I think I've done a good job. Yesterday, came up with some really nice concept art for this particular scene. What I'm doing now is literally going by that concept art and blocking out what I've got and seeing how it looks in 3D, in also keeping into consideration the sort of scale of it, but also how it's going to look in front of the camera. And I'm just going to move this dude out of the way first. We now have two Evlias. Let's make that a bit smaller there. That out, bring that up. So this is like kind of like a staircase. And I'm gonna think about the scale of it again. I've got to think about how far back everything will be. At the moment, this is too small. I'm gonna have to make this bigger, better. The cool thing about blocking is that because I don't have any textures at the moment, I can kind of get away with moving things around a lot easier in render preview mode as well, which is really cool. Who's our Neyyah character there? Let's move him over here. So again, just double checking the scale of everything. So if you're actually over here, Just going to add a little surface area here, sort of panel. It was actually when I started working in Blender, just seeing things like this, like the white untextured models, come to life in the Circles rendering engine. That was one of the moments that made me think, wow, this reminds me of Riven, like that photorealistic shading. And I thought, wow, this is what I need to use to make Neyyah. You know, this is what I need to use to create my 3D art. And I'm glad I stuck to learning it, because it didn't take very long. I followed Andrew Price's donut tutorial back in 2018, and I'd already had experience in 3D modeling using a software called Animator, and so it didn't take very long to kind of work out the basics for this. Awesome. Okay, I'm actually going to do something here. Make sure we've got a counter there. Got a little kind of well, a console. I like consoles. There seems to be a lot of consoles in here. One of my other devlogs was focusing on building a console, which is very cool. And again, it's so different to how it, like where it started in the beginning and what it became at the end of the development of that. It's always exciting to sort of see that come to life. And the same with this is it's actually just really cool seeing the concept art come to life in 3D in this very simple form. I think that's pretty cool in itself. The reason why I rotated everything, by the way, is so that the Y and the X axis, however you want to say it, are basically aligned, so that when I do move things around, you know, on the X or the Y axis, they kind of go in a sort of straight line. It's just nicer to kind of move things around in that way, so they're not completely. Just takes, it's a bit harder to like get around everything, if not. Another thing I'm doing at the moment, well, I wasn't actually going to do it there, is instancing. So kind of taking one model and just copying it but keeping the model data. I've actually just copied that but kept create a new model from it, just because the reason being is because textures might change, and I might use some of this for the actual and keep it for the actual scene itself. That's pretty cool. It's working out. How big this will be. Just gonna put our character over here and find out. How big does it need to be? And then also, what direction? Yeah, that's cool, like that. Alrighty. Again, everything's a bit squashed in because I've got 2 panels opened here, but I think that will be alright. Again, if not, we just bring everything further back. But I think that'll work. Okay, the main thing is focusing on the main core elements of the scene. I'm actually going to see actually if that will be too squashed in. Okay, I'm going to actually bring this even further back, expand this even more. I think it needs to be a lot bigger. It's a big area. So, my wife's character appears in this scene, which is really cool. I'm not going to say any more about her character, but she, yeah, this is another reason why this is such a cool scene for me to finally get into as well, because I keep picturing her in this scene, which is really awesome. And yeah, it's coming along really nicely, I think. I mean, the concept art's looking great. I am obviously looking at how this will work in the bigger picture. Like, that's why blocking out is such an important part, because I need to make sure that with the camera angle, where everything will be, how everything is set, works for what it's supposed to represent. And I think so far it's looking pretty awesome. Okay. Let's just get back into my camera angle there so I can see everything. Everything's in shot, which is awesome. Bring this forward. I'm just going to bring this forward a bit more. It's not too far away. Keep it about here. And then it's going to look so good when it's finished too. Like, I've got a very strong vision for this scene. Main thing is the panel. So I need to look at, again, the character position. What I'm doing now is just making sure that I'm considering all aspects of things as well. How far away the actor will be from the camera, and you know, what's doable in that regard. What's going to be obviously the easiest kind of, you know, the best way to implement it in terms of having a green screen and whereabouts the actor will be, replacing the green screen, all those kind of things sort of need to be taken into consideration at this point. And again, it's just a simple design at the moment. keeping things nice and simple. Console. This is the console. How things will look and the positioning of everything. It might not have this complete look. I'm just basically right now I'm kind of just going with it, but at least I can sort of have it in place to a point. Lovely. That's cool. All right. I really like the distance here. I'll do a quick. This is what's called an OpenGL sort of solid state render. This is how I've done most of the animations so far for Neyyah. Whilst they're rendering out, I can bring them into the engine really quickly when they're rendered like this, because it just renders all the frames very fast, and I can see how they perform. And also just all I need to do then is just replace the frames, because they're already in the engine ready to go in the place they're supposed to be when they're supposed to play and everything, so it speeds up things quite nicely. But it's also good just for rendering purposes, because then I can see how everything's looking. And I think this camera definitely just needs to be a bit closer. I think it's a bit too far away at the moment for my liking. That's a pretty cool position. And again, we're not seeing it. There you go. Okay. Because we don't want the characters to be too far away from the camera either. Ah, yeah, that works. Works a bit nicer, I think. Bring that back. And now we're going to double check the positioning of everything. Make sure it just works. If we're going to have like a camera angle set up like this, what I tend to do, particularly for these, because this is like a backdrop, it has to be in this particular scene that the character actor is filmed on is just one screen. So the composition of everything has to be set in place. This enables me to kind of work around that in terms of kind of the actual modeling for what's going to be behind them as well. So that's pretty cool. So we actually have, it makes more sense to have this about here. Yeah, it's cool. doing. He's scaling the camera so much at the moment. I mean, one thing I might end up doing is just talking with Peter Enzello, who will be doing the filming at Scudley Film. Well, he goes under Scudley Music Film Production. I worked with him in 2014 on my Who We Are EP, so it was really cool working in the music field with him. Fantastic guy. He's done a lot now with his film production. Got some great music videos and some really cool kind of short films that he's done as well, and other stuff going on. So definitely check Peter's stuff out at Scudley. I'll put the link in this video. And so yeah, I'll probably just talk to him about a bit more about positioning of things, what his ideas are, before I go into anything kind of grand scale. But I mean, even if I did model this entire scene out fully, like properly, it wouldn't hurt to just be able to then kind of bring in the move the camera back a bit more, or reposition a couple of things just because of where the character will be. The main thing is obviously being able to model this entire scene out. There's quite a bit of detail involved as well, so you know, I do want to get into that today. But the main thing I'm focusing on right now is kind of just the positioning of the character, the camera, and where everything will kind of sit. It's kind of just an important part, I think, of this particular phase of the design, the phase of the design right now. So one thing I do need to do, rather than work right now, although I'm tempted to just maybe just leave it for now. Actually, bring it up. Get rid of that. Bring that up. So it's a bit elevated. Bring that down. That move. Try that again. Up. Delete. Up. Down. Now it's nicely aligned. Bring that. Delete. Now, see if I can do this. Best way possible. So I'm going to save this out, move into a different layer within Blender, and I'm going to chop this up. Oh, wrong one. There you go. Segments. Again, just looking at the scale of it just slightly. Be very picky, especially when you start making changes. Cool. Sits well. I don't mind actually if that comes off a bit. One thing I'm worried about though is if things are here, how will they affect the shadow on the character? Because you don't want anything, I don't want to create too many complex issues of other things causing shadow to fall on the character, because although it could, there's probably ways around it in the actual like environment where you've got the green screen. You know, I've never done it before, so I'm just trying to keep things as kind of simple as possible when it comes to organising this kind of stuff. Again, this is just blocking, seeing how things look. Not bad, not bad. The 4 segments seem to work, so I'm just going to continue with that quickly and see how it runs around the whole thing. Again, I have saved the file previously, so I can always revert back if I need to. And I've got the original disk model that I'm chopping up here. I've got that untouched and another layer, so I can always bring that in. Yeah, it works quite nicely with that. Cool, that is cool. That's the reason why I'm doing this as well. I'm just going to block out some stuff over here quickly. I might even move over here as well. Actually quite, don't need it that high. It's going to cut that down to about 10. Didn't take very long that time. Quick little tester bits. So yeah, when I'm modelling I don't tend to talk much. I'm usually listening to music, or mostly like a sort of like maybe a playthrough or some kind of interview with a game developer, or you know, GDC talk or something. Kind of gets me in the zone. So at the moment it's very quiet, but you'll be hearing background music, so that's all good. Sometimes I like working when it's kind of quiet, but then I get a bit like, I need something that sort of stimulates me a bit more, so I kind of just end up listening to something, and it helps. Sometimes it can be a bit distracting though, I've got to be careful with that. Okay, I just want to test something out here, but this is not exactly how it's going to look, but it just gives me an idea of what's going on. Size? That's the question. Is it a pretty good size? I think so. I like the way it's tilting into towards the sunlight as well. It actually works quite nicely. Okay, it's good. A good block. It's a good block. What it needs to represent. Just want to see these stairs again. At the moment they're just wedges. Does this work quite nicely is the question? Actually, weirdly enough, I've got I've got an instance happening here that I did not intend to happen, so I need to delete our instance model here, and now I can just adjust this without affecting that one. And what's really nice about this scene is that I'm going back to a particular style of design, which has been quite strong within Neyyah already, and it's different to what I was doing with the previous backdrop build. So it's quite nice to sort of return back to that. It's nice. Just going to possibly stretch these out a bit. It's cool like that. That's nice. A little step down here. This is a bit more detailed than I'd kind of like to go really for blocking, but I'm just having like a little step here. This is kind of more the detailed kind of stuff. Down. So we'll go back into solid state here, and I'm going to save a new version. that'll work for there anyway for now. What I'm about to add here is very particular. Not very particular, it's just something I can probably just import from another scene very easily. I don't actually have that file open right now. And me just showing the actual title at the top anyway, you know, it's kind of like, okay. Orion. Me trying to not give away too much. So I've got to be careful. Looking at file names and stuff like that, I'm going to keep that till later. What I'm actually blocking here is more of a is something that, like I said, is just going to be brought into the scene from somewhere else. So I'm just making sure that it kind of fits well, or will fit fairly well for what I want it to kind of represent. It's actually quite sunny today. I live with my parents and my sister, and we were going to go to the forest, a local forest in the Rendlesham sort of Woodbridge area where I live here in Suffolk, England. But the weather wasn't very good at all today. It was just miserable. But now it's turned out sunny, and I believe they might even be back from having been out. They went into town quickly. Left me to my game dev devices. So another cool thing, guys, is I've reached the 7,000 wishlist mark. Very excited about that. It's very cool. Just tipped it over the edge. So thank you for having wishlisted Neyyah, and if you haven't wishlisted Neyyah already, the wishlist link is down in the description. So definitely get on that and ready your travel shoes, your journey shoes for the adventure of exploring the big world of Neyyah. So yeah, thanks guys for having wishlisted Neyyah, and those who are going to be wishlisting Neyyah, thank you as well. Okay, that works for now. Other things that I'll block out, I'll leave till a bit later. Might do a couple of things over here, slightly smaller things. It's cool how ideas come to you. Like, I think that's what I love about having a bit of freedom with the modelling, is that although I might be going off with a bit of a tangent when I'm designing these things, you know, it's nice to keep to the concept art, but improvising on the go and this sort of designing as you go is also, I guess, just kind of fulfilling as well from a designer's perspective. It keeps things kind of interesting, but you never know where it's going to go. Sometimes the ideas turn out to be really rubbish, sometimes they turn out to be really good. And the previous set I created took me about just over a week to get done, and it turned out really nicely. It just seemed to have no sort of problems there at all. So that was cool. I'm actually going to go back into 3D modelling mode here. I can sort of zoom in on my camera as well, which is quite nice. Yeah, I like that. So yeah, it has a very temple-y look, a shrine-like look. This is a really cool area to really get into for various reasons. which I mentioned, like I said, my wife's character Oriane, as the title's there, you might as well know her name. Also, Oriane had an appearance in the recent announcement trailer, announcing Microprose as the publisher for Neyyah, so that was really cool. So Oriane's getting a bit more notice now in the game, which is really exciting. I'll leave that there for now. That's cool. I'm just going to copy and paste this. Bring that the camera a bit more over here. See how well it lines up. Again, I'm thinking about position. I'm thinking about the camera position, what it's seeing, and making sure it's the most interesting shot. So I guess because I'm working, like I said before, with one camera angle, knowing exactly where the player will see this particular character, because this is the backdrop for them, I'm kind of just working on building this particular area through that lens, and it just makes everything, you know, make everything look quite nice and composed for that camera shot. But then I've got to think about the practicality of that with the entire scene. That's cool. For instance, that one here, this particular object that I've copied over to this side and will probably have coming through these gaps all the way around. I mean, that one I've just copied, you can't actually see that in this camera angle. It's over here. So if I want to model anything on this side of the scene, it won't appear within the camera angle I've got set up for having Oriane in this scene. So those kind of things I just got to consider, because you can't really sort of do everything. You have to sort of have a bit of compromise, and they're going to be like longer shots anyway of this scene. So okay, I'm just going to copy this over here as well. So I mean by the X and Y movements, it's just so much nicer having it lined up like that. Makes everything work really quickly, like just bringing that over there to this side, for example. Oh yeah, that's cool. Let's see how we go with that idea. Things do change a bit. I mean, once you start modeling stuff in Blender, the idea you had originally might be a bit different to what you had before, because like I said, the camera angle might be different, and the lineup of everything might be a bit different. So if I moved one of those over here, would that have any impact? I don't think so. Cool. Alright guys, I'm going to render this out and I'll show you the edited version within Photoshop. And here we are with our edited render preview, well, rendered version of what I've been blocking. And yeah, it's come out really nicely. What I'll be doing is probably looking at the exposure, certain things in the sky, making sure there's not too much compression, and sort of other elements of the sort of the lighting of the scene. And at the moment nothing's textured, so everything's really bright. I'm really liking the composition. I'm really liking the way everything is sort of structured, and the way the sky looks in the background too. The actual cloud cover, the shape of everything is looking really nice. So yeah, this is the beginning of the scene blocking out everything and building up from scratch. Again, bringing certain elements of the game that I've already created and bringing them into the scene, so I can use them, references from textures, maybe certain models can be used as well, and kind of just manipulated. And it's going to be a very cool scene when it's finished. So thanks guys for tuning in to this devlog, and it's been great sharing this with you again. Maybe I'll be doing something a bit different for the next devlog. I might spice it up a bit. Otherwise it's just going to be blocking, and more blocking. So yeah, I might just do something extra, even if it's maybe something in the possibly the engine or another aspect of modeling or Photoshop work. But yeah, this is what I'm really kind of getting stuck into at the moment, or the Blender work, definitely till the end of June. So July might be more kind of engine work, but possibly even kind of script, finalizing certain scripts for the characters too. And my wife will be helping with that as well. And so there might be some sort of background, behind the scenes stuff I'll be kind of sharing there as well, so that's going to be cool. But yeah, thanks for tuning in guys. Definitely like, subscribe, comment on this video, and subscribe to the channel for more devlog updates. And wishlist Neyyah on Steam. Get ready for the awesome adventure ahead, because the journey I'm on at the moment, I can't wait to share everything that I've created and share this whole world with you guys to explore. And it's going to be awesome. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Bye guys!